Just what is the intent here, Mr. Presley? You got women throwing themselves at you. Why my daughter?
Well, sir, I happen to be very fond of your daughter. She's much more mature than her age. 22. That's 22.
Their love story was closely watched by the world. It became a part of a 1985 memoir called Elvis and Me. This is now a new movie called Priscilla. It's the love story between Priscilla and the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. You can watch it in theaters now, but this morning we're giving you an extra behind-the-scenes peek from the source herself. We are so honored and excited to welcome Priscilla Presley to our studio this morning. Welcome to Chicago.
Thank you.
So excited to have you. I know you're a California girl now, and the winters can be tough, but we so appreciate you stepping in to visit us here. Okay, so let's just get right to it. You're here for a fundraiser, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, but everybody wants to know about Elvis and Me and Elvis and You and the movie. So the movie is out, and I'm curious, how much of a role did you actually play in the movie, and were you happy with the end result?
Well, actually, I didn't have that much of a role because of the book. It's actually, the movie is all about the book, but I was very nervous about it.
I bet.
Sofia Coppola, who I absolutely love. I love her film work. I mean, I was pleased that, you know, she wanted to take on this. And I met her a couple of times, and I just fell in love with her. She is so great, and told me not to worry, and that it was really being taken from the book. And still, you're nervous. You know, this is your life. So, but I was happy with it. I thought she did a great job, especially the actress. Kaylee was unbelievable. I mean, she honestly got me down to a T, and I did have a couple of meetings with her, and she said, "Is there anything that you can tell me that I could go by?" And I said, "Yes, just be sensitive, please."
Wow. Yeah, you know, I wish I could talk to her to hear from her and what it must have been like to do this, knowing that you were there and you were watching everything, but you loved the end result.
I did, and I wasn't there for everything. I mean, this was Sophia's film, and you know, you really shouldn't be on a, you know, how can I say, be on the set and making them nervous. So knowing her work, I just let her do her thing.
You trusted her.
I did.
Okay, so let's talk about the movie and the takeaway, because you were 14 years old when you met Elvis. He was 24 years old. It's so interesting to watch the movie because you were just a young girl. And a couple of questions I think people are left walking away with. Number one, this is the one you know, is how in the world did her parents allow her to be with this older man? You know, you were so young. What's your response to that?
Well, my parents, you know, first of all, my father was not, neither was my mother, a fan. You know, that was back in the day when rock and roll and his movements and all of that. My mother was one of those that I wouldn't let you step out the door to see him. Well, that all changed when she met him. And my father, of course, him being in the military, respected him. But my relationship with Elvis, you know, people go, "Oh my God, how could this happen?" It was not a sexual relationship, being 14 years old. What I think, you know, really attracted him to me was the fact that, and I've gone over this many times, why me, was because I was like the listener. He poured his heart out to me in Germany. He was very, very lonely. He just lost his mother and then had to go to Germany. She thought Germany was, that there was a war. You know, back in the day, she only had a second-grade education, I think, and she was so nervous he was going to get hurt or killed. So that was a big issue for him, and so he just trusted me with a lot of things that he shared.
Well, I want to talk about that too, because he changed your life in so many ways, obviously, but he really kind of changed you in a lot of other ways. Your appearance, I love in the movie, it shows how you came home after spending some time with him, and your parents didn't recognize you because your hair had been dyed, you were wearing makeup. A lot of people look at that and might think Elvis was a little controlling. What would you say to that?
Well, first of all, this was back, this is back in the 60s, early 60s, a different time. My father helped my mother pick out her clothes. My mother would come home with something and he didn't like it. He'd say, "No, I don't like that," you know. So that was, you know, men kind of ruled back then in the day. It wasn't a bad thing. I mean, you know, Elvis obviously cared very much for me, and yes, he liked me in certain dresses and or clothing, and would go with me a couple of times, and I loved it. I loved the fact that he was letting me know what he liked and didn't like.
I'm curious, is there something that people don't really know about Elvis, or that you want people to know that the world didn't see because you guys were very private?
Yes, we were. And I still am, and it's
Yes,
still
you
hard
are.
for me to share. But to share with him, I think people wouldn't believe that he was nervous when he would do a show. Like in Vegas, every show that he came out was I okay, did it come out? He'd go to Joe Esposito and say the same thing, who was one of the guys, probably the top guy with all the other ones. But yeah, he was insecure and wanted to make sure that he was okay.
Let's go back to the movie for a second, because Elvis and Me was written a long time ago. So why now? Why is the movie Priscilla out now?
Well, listen, this is Sofia Coppola's film, and you know, when she called me and asked me and told me that she wanted to do a movie, and I met with her, and I wasn't that involved with it. I just asked her to please be sensitive, especially to him, because he was an amazing man and human being, and I just, you know, I know her work, but I didn't know which way she was going to go with this. And I know.
So was it spurred by the Elvis movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my book, basically.
Yes,
She read my book, and from the book, she came up with a film.
I love that. I love that your story was told too around the same time, because the Elvis movie was also a big hit. What did you think about that one?
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
You were at the premiere, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was. Again, I'm very nervous about it. Anything that comes out about Elvis, I get nervous about where they're going with it.
Yeah.
But it's been very successful, I have to say.
I'm curious too, how much you're still involved with Graceland, because you have been credited with really making that one of the top tourist attractions in the country. When you first started saying, let's take advantage of this, let's make Graceland a place for the people who are fans of Elvis to come, did you have any idea the reception you were going to get and still get today?
Yeah, no. I mean, that all started to knowing that Elvis would never sell Graceland.
Are you going to keep Graceland? Do you have plans of moving away from Memphis? Or what?
I'm going to keep Graceland as long as I possibly can.
And there was a point where, when I was on the board with the other attorneys, only 2 other attorneys, just when we opened up Graceland, or actually before, one of the attorneys came up to me and said, we're going to have to sell Graceland. We had no money. We ran out of money. And I said, that'll never happen, ever. You know, Elvis never would ever approve of this. So that's when I opened up Graceland, and here we are today, and people are still going and visiting and in awe of his success and what he's done, because we have a museum there as well. Many people don't know it, especially the youth. We have a lot of the youth coming.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still far-reaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember many comments made about how beautiful Graceland is at Christmas time,
Yes,
right?
Yes, and that was his special time. He loved all the decorations. Even I would do the tree. I would put all the light bulbs on the tree and the lights, and he would take the tin foil and stand in the back where the dining room table is and curl it all up, you know, squish it together and throw it. And I go, no, that's not how you put tinsel on. And so I would take it and put a little bit, and he would just take it and throw the tinsel on.
So you were very particular. It had to be perfect, huh? So
yeah.
You still have a lot of good memories there then. So when you
do.
go back, do you still feel good memories, or is it sadness?
Both.
Yeah.
Really both. I walk in the front door, and I look over where the piano room is at the end of the living room, and I can just hear the music, you know, that he would play after we'd come home from the theater at 2 o'clock in the morning. He'd go back to the Graceland and then play the piano, and I still visualize that. And of course, our dinners at the dining room table, and the laughter that always came out, and then we'd go to the movies.
You guys at home want to know more about what she's talking about. All of this is in the movie too. Okay. 2 quick questions. This one may not be fair. As a mother, I get this. What's your favorite Elvis song?
Oh my gosh, how do I pick it?
Right?
Oh my God, every song he sang, I loved. I really don't even have a favorite. They're all good.
They were good.
Yeah,
Okay, and then my final question to you is, what is the one question that everybody has for you, Priscilla, when they want to ask you about Elvis? What's that?
Was he a great kisser? Yes, ladies, he was pretty darn good.
That is awesome. Priscilla Presley, thank you so much for coming in.